I had a totally different video planned to go into where I've been for the past month or so. I think it's been about a good month since I uploaded a video. Like, I had filmed it and I was going to edit it and have it ready for viewing technically yesterday, since as of now it is now Saturday, very early Saturday morning. My cat's trying to get back in the room. But I figured, due to the recent events that have transpired since Tuesday night into Wednesday, I figured I'd just go off the cuff and give my thoughts now, because I'm disappointed. I am sad, disappointed, scared, just still in a state of just disgusted awe. And I think the shock, I'm not in shock anymore. I was in shock when I awoke on Wednesday morning to find out that a racist, sexist, mediocre Cheeto will be our president come January 2017. I'm disappointed because hate won. I'm sure lots of people have been saying that over and over again recently, the past couple of days, but it's true. And not just from the Rust Belt and rural white America. They let it be known that they're here for white supremacy, and that was the way that they voted. But not just them. College educated white folks, men and women, people who are supposedly educated and supposedly have some sense, voted for Donald Trump. So yeah, I'm disgusted. I am scared of what will come 2017. I guess I'm not as scared for myself, since I'm in New York City. I'm not as scared for myself as I am for people, as I'm scared for black people, people of color, and other marginalized groups in other states, especially red states. Oh, example. I was on Twitter Wednesday morning, and this picture was being passed around that showed what looked like to be the Klan, dressed up in full garb, crossing a bridge in a town in North Carolina that my mother doesn't live too far from. And sometimes she volunteers her services. Well, not volunteers, but she does side work as an Uber driver. So of course I'm concerned about her safety. I'm concerned about, my extended family's safety in the Carolinas. I am concerned about the safety of my black and POC friends who live in red states, who live in states that might have been swing states, but swung to Trump this election. I'm worried that what little progress we've made in recent will just be pushed back, taken away. And it hasn't started happening now via legislation, but the sheer amount of racist white folks, men, women, children, teenagers, doesn't matter the age, because white supremacy doesn't discriminate via age of with white folks, and just seeing the sheer numbers of white nationalists and the KKK just outwardly celebrating, and just seeing the racist and sexist and queerphobic abuse that's being hurled at marginalized groups in this country. White kids are going to school and just flipping off black kids and calling them niggers, and telling black girls, asking them, aren't they supposed to sit at the back of the bus, and gay folks getting called faggots and having their faces, beat in and cut up because some bigoted asshole hits them in the face with a glass bottle. Or in, Buffalo, New York, the state that I reside in, having to deal with the university, with someone spray painting "Make America White Again" with a swastika, and it just keeps coming in and coming in. It just keeps happening. I just recently saw a tweet of a college alumni getting wind of this group being made by racist white kids on the campus called, basically putting the names of all the black freshmen in the school, and suggesting that they all be lynched. What do you think about that? So yeah. I have reason to be afraid for my people. I have reason to be afraid for my fellow LGBT folks. I got nothing. That's about as clear cut as I can put it. And for everyone who is calling on, we have to, saying that we have to, quote, heal the divide, fuck y'all, eat a dick. I feel no need to heal a divide with a person who is openly endorsed by the KKK. Sorry, just no amount of pictures showing him shaking hands with President Obama is going to change my mind. It's just not going to happen. I don't have to go out of my way to build bridges with people who endorse a candidate, who voted for a candidate who's endorsed by the KKK. No amount of economic anxiety, and you being mad with establishment politicians and shit is going to justify this. It's going to rationalize anything that has happened. That shit, nothing y'all say will ever justify putting a racist, sexist white man in the Oval Office for next year. Don't care. Don't fucking care. And for those of y'all who are in your feelings because you're being called racist because you voted for Trump, no sympathy whatsoever. Deal with it. Regardless of how you feel about me and my group, you don't personally have to hate us to either have views that we're inferior to you, or to have no problem with our dehumanization, and to support legislation that dehumanizes us and disenfranchises us. That's not how racism works. Racism is not just you putting on a white hood and burning a cross outside of my apartment building. It's not just you feeling even more freer than ever to call me a porch monkey or a tar baby, on Twitter. That's not how racism. That's not the only way. That's not the only way to be a racist. That's not the only avenue. That's not the only lake that the waters of racism flows down. So, if you have a problem with being called a racist because you supported a candidate who himself is racist and sexist, just because you have issues with establishment politicians, even though for the most part, when it came to the other the other elections that were going on, like with the House and the Senate races, you motherfuckers still voted along party lines for establishment politicians who will continue to pass legislation that serves their best interest and not yours. So nothing is really going to change. But you voted for this evil orange motherfucker because of how he made you feel. Because he catered to your feelings. And that's really on y'all to examine why you feel that way, if you can even bother to, because when it comes to asking white people in general to examine why they feel and the way they feel and think the way they think, when it comes to why they vote for the people they vote for and all of that, y'all really don't have the stamina for self-reflection and thinking, wow, and looking inward. Y'all don't have the stamina for that. Y'all don't really have the stamina for conversations about race anyway. So, and yeah, this video is going to be kind of rambly because I don't have a script. I'm just going off of, what comes in my head and what I've been thinking and how I've been feeling and whatnot. So you'll just have to deal with that. But yeah, basically hate won. America has spoken, and by America I mean white America. White America has spoken that this country is still a white supremacist nation, and that's really it. Of course, there are other things to consider. There are a lot of reasons why Trump won, but the main one is because of white people. White people came out overwhelmingly for him. I will say that I will talk about that. I'm probably going to get the percentage wrong, but that 12%, that 12 or more percent of black men who voted for Trump, I'll probably give my thoughts on that in another video, because it's going to be a very interesting one, and also because black women tried to talk about it on Twitter, and Hotep Twitter had a fit about it. So, what's also of note is the percentage of Latino people who voted for Trump, and that's also a subject that could use some tackling. But I may leave that up to Latinos or Afro-Latinos to talk about, because, yeah, it's very interesting, and it's also pretty disturbing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I really got nothing else. Suffice to say that I think I will be okay, and I think we will all be okay, as long as, we just got to get ready to fight. I mean, that's, that doesn't make it doesn't make, this day different than any other day for marginalized folks. We're like Sophia from The Color Purple. All our lives we've had to fight. Tuesday was no different, and the next day won't really be much different from that. So, yeah, I got nothing.